Okay, we have one guest tonight who is Tim Dundas from patching and paving for Adam Hall. You want to get up and let us know what's going on?
Hi everyone, so my name is Ben Dundas. I own Auburn Asphalt, and I was recently approached about doing some improvements on the parking lot. You see with the giant water puddle right out front. That's kind of an issue for safety. It looks bad, ice in the winter, all those kinds of things. So the solution that we came up with was to run a trench drain along the entire front of the concrete and then build up all that area to kick the water into the new drain to be a hopefully permanent solution and make it easier to fix in the future if there are more problems with it. That would include resurfacing this whole front section so that we can fix these two bad drains. I'm sure you drove over them when you came in. We want to add a riser on both of them and regrade it so that it's not so bad on vehicles pulling in. It's not a trip hazard anymore, things like that. As you can see on this drain, which is the closer one to the entrance, we have some underwashing issues. We're going to repair those with concrete and make sure that that doesn't come back through. And after that, we were going to seal coat, crack fill the entranceways in the good section out back, and then clean up and seal coat this entire section to hold it together for a couple of more years before potentially doing full reconstruction on those as well. That's years down the line. And then there were a few more patches along the back there just to kind of keep it safe, make it look better, and be all around better. And then also we were going to restripe in the front handicap area just to make it more visible. Those lines are completely faded out. So if there's any questions about the plan here.
And if we don't do something this season, how much damage will progress from what we've already seen or what we have through the winter time again?
In the condition it's in, it's going to continue to deteriorate very, very quickly. Like I said, with the water there, all the water intrusion, the ice, it's just going to get worse very, very quickly.
So crack filling, do you guys have like a certain width you guys crack fill, or
Yeah.
you fill them all?
It's anything 1/4 inch or larger. But we weren't going to do anything in this section here because it's basically all cracks. It's not really going to do anything, but the entryway, which is still in fairly decent shape, we want to prolong the life of that.
Now the area you say is really bad, do you guys just put it on heavier so it?
With the seal coat, yeah. We go very heavy on it to try to prolong it as long as we can until it's time for a true reconstruction.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, we're 2014, I believe, is when this was last surfaced.
Just this section here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's past times for some maintenance and improvements.
You give us two quotes, alternate quotes, you want to go over the difference between the two?
Yeah, so the main quote that I would recommend is the one that I just talked about. It resurfaces all of this section, and then about 10 feet past those drains. The other quote would only take it up to the corner of the railroad ties right up here, and just be like the entryway and this section along with the drain and everything. So it would save about $8,000 to not resurface this and just seal coat it. But if we're already here, it's cheaper to do it now while we're already working.
Okay, so the two quotes, you got option A and option B here.
Yeah.
Option A includes the repair over here.
Both options include that entire section.
Okay, and then option A, since the quote I'm looking at, would include, explain what you're doing over here again, and then we'll go to option B.
Option A is the resurface all the way up to the entryway here, and then all the way basically to the corner of the building, right along this line. Option B, we would stop pretty much at that corner.
Hang on, before you go on. So option A, your quote is $41,250.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so option B, now go on with that, and we'll get to that one.
So the only difference is just this front section here would be seal coated and crack filled instead of paved resurfaced.
Okay, and that comes to $32,500.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. All right.
Anything else?
And you said there's a chance, no promises, but the goal would be to possibly complete it before we host the primary here on May 5th.
Yeah, so for both options, barring any major setbacks or issues or really bad weather, we should have no issue getting all of that work done before the May 5th primary to cut out the safety issues.
Okay, so what's our, it's gonna come out of our budget for land acquisition and improvement.
Well, actually, we have an account in the general fund, and that'll cover it.
Yeah, it's
So
very
this-
necessary.
Okay.
How much are you
Yeah,
looking
so
at raising
make
the
sure
catch
we
basin?
have already
Two inch risers.
a list of things for the,
And then re-rake with
One
the
2-inch or two 2-inch risers?
1 2-inch on each of those, and then with the mill and resurface, just kind of regrade so it's a smoother transition
we
in and
have
out
a
of
lot
it.
of.
Because last we heard, we were supposed to lower that catch basin, which,
You don't know what the roof's gonna cost,
This one back here.
what the bathrooms are gonna cost, and what we're gonna get, so that's.
I don't see any lower. They're already,
Trip hazard.
it's already pretty steep coming into them, so.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. We've worked with Ben before around the fire station. I know him a little bit myself, and this is under the threshold, and it's absolutely repairs and maintenance. So thank you for getting an estimate with the guy we already know.
You were the last person to do asphalt work
I believe
for
so,
Auburn?
Not here, he was up
At
by
the fire department?
station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do, Mr. Phillips?
You did great.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
So, all that being said, I'll make a motion and we'll do the first option, option A. And let's hire Auburn Asphalt to do that.
I'll second.
Riley,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 4 sets of minute approvals.
Three. Just three.
The last one.
We don't have the last one.
You don't have the last one? Okay, in that case.
The last one being the special meeting we interviewed.
Correct.
Okay, all right, so I read the two, yeah.
Okay. All right, regular meeting of 3/16, motion?
Yeah, I'll move to approve.
Second?
Riley,
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Okay, the regular meeting of 4/6/26,
They look good to me, I'll make a motion to approve those as well.
I'll second.
Riley,
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Michael?
yes. And then finally, the special meeting of 4/13. Any comments, criticisms?
We have those?
Yeah. Well, I've got the original, I don't know. Any copies?
4/13.
Yeah. All right, motion to approve special meeting.
I'll second.
Riley,
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Okay, scheduled reports. Chief John Phillips, Fire Prevention Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Runs on call. EMS calls, we had, between January and March, we had 138. The previous year, we had 155. Fire calls, we had 114. Previous year was 119. Total for this year was 252. Previous year was 274. New site given was 85. Previous year was 74. New site received was 10. Previous year was 50. Total transports, 95. Previous year was 102. Total non-transport, 0. Previous year was 3. Total transfer to other agencies, 50. Previous year was 64. Total patients was 145. Previous year was 169. Percentage of multiple calls, those are calls coming in on top of one another, 22.22%. 22.22. That's it from my report.
Yes.
So, it says in the report, Chief John Phillips, Fire Prevention Officer. Is he a chief or is he a fire prevention officer?
He's a fire prevention officer, affectionately known as chief.
Well, I sat in a meeting at the fire department, and you said just call him John Phillips.
Yeah, we changed our mind. You can call him chief, you can call him John Phillips, you can call him fire prevention officer.
Do we have a chief then?
No, we just call him chief, he's fire prevention officer.
But do we have a chief for the Auburn Fire Department?
No, we have a fire prevention officer.
So that replaces a chief?
Takes on all the duties of the fire chief except for the equipment.
Well, who does that then? It's the equipment.
Who handles the equipment, Keith? Is there a specific person or is it handled by a group of people?
Line officers take care of that. Our captains and lieutenants take care of that.
Okay, answer my question.
Okay. Trustee and fiscal officer reports, PJ.
Let's see, we've got some road business here we're going to get to. First and foremost, I guess, would be bid opening was earlier this month, I believe it was April. Yeah, it was Good Friday. For various road resurfacing, 8 different roads and I believe 4 different subdivisions. Estimate was $1.225 million. We received 5 bids, and after a thorough review, the lowest and best bid for this project was submitted by Phillips Paving Incorporated from Chagrin Falls, Ohio, in the amount of $1,207,000. Recommendation of the Geauga County Engineers Office that the project be awarded to Phillips Paving Incorporated. The bid bond submitted by the awarded contractor shall be held to serve as the performance bond for the project. Bid guarantee bonds for unsuccessful bidders shall be released and returned. So based on that advice, from the Engineers Office, I'm going to make a motion to award that project to Phillips Paving for $1,207,000.
Second?
Riley,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
I just want to add, PJ, that they asked that in the email that Aubrey, your last name sent, that you, somebody from the board, contact them saying that you concur with their recommendation.
Okay, well, we'll send, yeah. Yes, absolutely. We'll probably send an email or something tomorrow then, for sure.
You going to do the road salt while you're in the neighborhood?
Yeah, we're part of, we obtain our road salt through ODOT, and this is a motion to continue with that program for obtaining road salt through Ohio Department of Transportation. So there's a motion.
I'll second.
Riley seconded.
Riley? Riley,
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
3 other things real quick, but what we're doing now is post-winter, since this is actually a quiet weather week, we're doing sign inventories. That's all the locations in the township. That's something insurance wants us to do with some regularity, so that's getting done this week. And we have, in our road database, we have a rating system that's, roads are assigned numbers from 10 down to 1 as far as their quality. A road that was just resurfaced would be a 10, and obviously a 1 would be basically a cow path. So that's being done too and added to the database, which we do that every single day after winter. And the truck that we've been talking about for, oh my gosh, it seems like 2 years now, finally the truck bed and the hoist have been delivered to Judco. So that's going to be put together. We were hoping to have it by end of winter, but delays, and it'll get broken in this summer, it sounds like, and be ready to hit the road next year. So that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for PJ? Okay, Riley.
Yeah. This is another request. Is this is a new one? Yes, it is, for 9761. This is engineer's office assigns addresses, and lately it comes before the township board here to approve. And this is for 9761 Washington Street. It's in the back end of a subdivision. Oh, okay. I think we handled this. Wasn't this the last one last week over by Auburn Lakes? Anybody remember?
I think this was the second.
Okay.
I thought so.
Okay, well, I will make a motion, even if it's redundant, to approve that address assigned by the engineer's office for parcel over on Washington Street, 9761.
I'll second.
Riley?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Michael?
Yes. Again, we never see any reason to argue with the county about what they number the roads, because we don't have any secret information that would allow us to change it anyway. They haven't messed up yet, so we trust them. Okay, is that it, PJ?
That's all I have.
Sure. Okay, Riley?
So I have a couple other quotes to go over. Everybody hear me okay in the back? Just barely. You want me to use the microphone?
Or use your microphone.
Then I won't be yelling.
Oh, boy.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah.
Not annoying? Good. Okay. So this first quote I have up here, there's several options to, if you notice driving by the split rail fence, I spoke with the local company, Auburn Fence, that originally put it in, and they say it's about 20 years aged. There has been a couple of repairs on it. However, as it reads, or when you drive by, there's a lot of broken pieces in the grass, rotted, posts that are broken. So I asked for a quote to get it repaired, or if we wanted to get really fancy, it could be matched to the cemetery. I don't expect everybody to be able to read it from back there, but to get it fixed up, all the broken pieces, the most cost-effective way, it'd be about 6 to 8 weeks, the owner told me, and that is at a cost of $2,000, somebody help me out, 800? Okay, $2,910, thank you. So that will get us looking spruced up a little bit for the summer and fall, and not have the broken pieces laying in the yard getting mowed around. But for our reference, the other options, here we go, okay. Yeah, that helps. I still can't read it because of the angle. Sorry.
11710 for our new split rail.
That's just, to replace all of it, so I guess it would all be the same color, new wood versus aged wood, which I don't know that would justify the cost, $11,710, but that's an option. And then the most expensive, but again, fanciest option would be matching steel, wrought iron style to our cemetery up the road. But just for our records, it's $44,440. So at this time, are there any questions about that? Comments? Yes, sir?
Is there an estimated longevity on like the split rail? I know that weather depicts certain stuff on split rail. So if you guys replace those pieces, how long do they last, approximately?
I'm gonna say that within 3 years, we'll be doing the same thing on other
Yeah.
posts, because the post just run out. That's what
Right.
happened.
So probably the more logical thing is to go with the full replacement and,
Yeah, the way I understand it is quoted for the replacement, if the life is getting towards the end already on the quality of the post, it's part of that, because the quantities are pretty high. Visually, now I'm really testing this. Okay, so 40 rails, like visually when you drive by, you maybe see like 5 to 8 that are cracked and broken.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of other ones that are on their way out that are included in this. And same with the posts. I only noticed personally, I think like 4 posts that are actually broken. So there must be some others from the weed whackers that have been toothpicking them down a little bit that they're gonna bring up to speed as well.
so is there anything we can do to increase the longevity of what's there? Treating with Thompson's or,
Well, that would be I would agree that'd be, it's not something I asked, but if everything got replaced at the same time, that'd probably be a good time to consider something.
well,
if it's-
those are all treated, it's all treated lumber, so you have to wait till the next year to do
Spray it
the
or
Thompson's or
something.
something. So that's all I'm asking is
Yeah.
there some way to extend the life on those?
Yeah, I'd go with the repairs, Riley, I gotta tell you, with the goal, after we address the parking lot and the roof here, of matching the fence at Shady Side down the road, we got some money. That's what I do, that's gonna fix it.
I think that's the most prudent thing at this point. I mean, we're still gonna, yeah, we're gonna have repairs over time, but I think they're gonna be somewhat limited compared to what we have now, because we've let it go for a while.
I'd like to make the motion to hire Auburn Fence for the replacement quote line 1 at the cost of $2,910.
Second.
Riley,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Okay. And this one here. So, not quite as expensive as the other things we're doing tonight, but still very important. On Saturday, I was called down, there was a Girl Scout function, and the water was pushing through that window onto the floor, and it was being mopped up by the attendant. So I went outside, I realized all the gutters were pretty much packed, so the water was pushing back through the soffits and down the walls. I don't know why, I don't know the details of when it was overlooked in the fall or last summer. Moving forward, I'm going to add it to our seasonal checks on the different buildings as I build that, now that it became an issue. So I just popped a couple of the downspouts real quick and threw the trash or the leaves and debris into the yard. The water flowed, the water stopped coming in the building. I don't know how many linear feet we have here though, but to just have all of the gutters clean, because even on there's a second row that feeds into the first row, they're all packed. I don't know when the last time they were actually done. I asked the road department if that was something they did. They said for this price you can hire it out and have it done professionally, have it done pretty quick. So moving forward though, the important thing is that we check it in the fall before the winter comes so it doesn't freeze and block up. So anyways, any questions about, or advice, comments?
Motion to clean the gutters for $250.
Motion to clean the gutters for $250. Thank you, sir.
I'll second.
And then do you put a gutter guard on, or is there one now that we're just clogged up?
There is not. The trees, I'm guessing it takes a while, and that's maybe why this was overlooked, maybe several years for them to get to this point, because there's not immediate coverage like at some people's houses, for example. So I don't know with the winds, if it has to blow all the way across and eventually fill them up. So these gutters have been on here, I think, 22, 24 years.
But you never had the covers on with the...
They don't have them now. I didn't get a quote for them.
Well, since we're having an entire roof project coming up, which
Sounds
will...
like an easy follow-up. Sounds like a great time to put the lid
Yeah,
on.
Yeah, well, when we have the roof done, we'll have the new gutters put on, and
Yeah, they're either gonna
Say
get
leaf
moved up.
leaf guards would probably be a prudent thing to have at that point in
I
time.
need adjusted anyway, so.
Yeah, so they might get replaced, they might get moved up. I'll certainly get a quote for leaf guards. Or if leaf guards are, 15,000, you divide it by 250 or even 500 a year to have them clean, what's the catch-up time on that? But I will consider that as we get closer to the roof
Because I'm
project.
sure 95% of us had leaf garden on our gutters in our homes here.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What's the name of the company?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we got a motion.
Yeah, I made a motion.
Second.
Like second.
Second.
Riley,
Yes.
TJ,
Yes.
Michael?
Yes.
So from our last meeting regarding this very roof we're in here, you gentlemen asked me to check with Geauga County Building Department about possible permits for the re-roofing. I spoke with Allison. She advised me that our county building department does not do any permits for roofing or re-roofs unless there's structural damage such as the trusses, the rafters, the joists being damaged, say a tree, tornado, something major, and there has to be heavy construction to rebuild it. That's when they would look for permits, but on roof and re-roof, there is not any. So from what we learned last time, the current weight of the roof would be removed, and a second roof, the weight of it is allowed to be applied. So the plywood's lesser of the two in weight. So I can't foresee it being a weight-related issue because the weight hypothetically would be less than if we did a layover or second roof on it. Plywood versus the shingles
So the
themselves.
underlayment doesn't apply if you got bad plywood, because we probably did.
Yeah, I suspect, I can't remember, what he suggested, and we haven't seen any quotes yet, but along the perimeter where the water, I don't know if you can see that in the crowd, but it was pushing through mainly these long runs of soffit, so if that's 10 pieces, 20 pieces possibly along the edges that are pretty rotted, or could be rotted, we wouldn't know until it was ripped out. But we have till hypothetically winter to get that done, so. But for today, I just wanted to express that the building department does not do permits for the roof or a new roof or a re-roof. Next, quickly on the cemetery, there's a lady up at the county named Sarah Perry. She's, I believe, taken most of the reins on between GIS, which is our satellite system that's being integrated into this new program. And she came into our administration building and she looked at all our old mapping, and we took some photos and gave her some information. So she is starting to actively work on the new cemetery system. And boldly, she even said it's possible it could be close by mid to late summer, which seemed pretty fast. So we're paying attention, working with her on whatever she needs, and real excited to learn how that'll work and show you as it starts to be completed. And then lastly, I noticed there were some business owners discussing I think the word was dreaming of crosswalks or something down in the business district as it grows. As you know, there's a new coffee shop opening in a couple weeks. And so I reached out to one of the business owners and I asked how far along they got with the county or ODOT or anybody. And so I wasn't double working the same situation. And they had said, to their knowledge, nothing really happened. It was kind of just a dream or a question. So I had a contact, Tyler Wilkinson's actually his name. He's the manager in Middlefield, and they're in charge, ODOT, of Route 44. So I reached out with some ideas and just, what's the first step? What's the first thing that someone would have to do, or who would they talk to see if that's realistic, to get a crosswalk or to get, slow down in the evening when all the people are having the, summer festivals and that. So that's kind of a fun project that I don't know anything about yet, but I did reach out to ODOT, and it's been passed on to the proper group that looks at these things. So as information comes in, I will report it back. And if anyone has any suggestions, this is a great time, because I'm just going off of...
Where is this crosswalk going on what street?
So if you head east on this Washington Street, you'll run into Route 44 as a T. Well,
Right.
now it continues, but at the light down here, hypothetically, a crosswalk would go where a light is on one side or the other, both sides.
We're talking at the corner where the...
Like Auburn Inn, the doctor's office, Auburn Inn, the old bait shop, that whole corner right there.
Right. And there's traffic over there? There are people walking around over there? I've never seen it.
With the breweries going now like they are, yeah,
Well, yeah,
there
we
actually
got the
is.
breweries, but they have the parking lots. We appreciate that.
Yeah,
We
well,
appreciate
I've heard this before from one of the owners down there that the gateway would be this crossing thing on 44, but they were talking about doing a, not sidewalk next to the road, but behind the properties, connecting, say, for those familiar, right-offers with, I guess at this point, the extent would be the 8th Plum and Beaver over here. Cerna's in between, be another crosswalk, I suppose.
Right.
They've been talking about this
Across
for
Auburn Inn,
quite a while.
you have all that one
We
area.
go to the white, the
8th Day?
Hoffs?
Oh, coffee. The coffee place?
not the beer place.
Auburn Inn.
Oh, Helene's.
Eighth
Yeah,
Day.
8th Day, okay.
And we don't see, we go there frequently, but we never see traffic,
They have weekend festivals that there is a lot of pedestrian traffic.
Foot traffic?
There is, yes.
Oh, okay,
And
we've just,
It's-
since they've been open, we've been going, I haven't seen it.
it's kind of a nice situation because 15 years ago, by all appearances, what the applications we were going to get, this was going to be landscaper row. We were getting a couple applications for new landscapers a year, and now all of a sudden, we got these breweries and nice little eatery things, and Cerna kind of opened the door for that when he built that place. And it's been a nice change up.
I just haven't seen the foot traffic.
It's
I'm
coming,
not-
I think it's coming. I don't blame them, and these folks have been talking about it for a while. So.
In the evenings, I guess people will start to kind of hop back and forth, 9, 10, 11, I don't know what time you go there, but they
Oh, no, not
they kind of leapfrog across 44, and if you're not paying attention, some of those semis are going through there at, 50, 60 miles an hour. You go to some small towns, I don't think it's asking a lot, and a quarter mile or an eighth mile out before you get through the town center, it slows you down to 35 or 25, and then you can speed right back up to 55 again. I don't know if that's a recommendation, if they could do a crosswalk. I'm leaving it up to them to even see if anything's feasible. I know nothing about it except
I think,
People are asking.
even if you bring them down, take a look at what's going on there, and we do have a number of between the restaurants and coffee shops. I mean, I've seen them slow down to 35 for a lot less than we have in that corner now.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So that's just a fun little project that it may take a very long time, but it started. So we'll see what kind of information I get back.
I'll have to hang out at 8th Day more often.
Yes.
Sure will.
Yeah. And then go across the street when they close, and then go keep looping around, get some pizza. And that is all for me. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Dan, what do you got?
All right, I'll be short and sweet. Since our last meeting, April 6th, I processed 14 electronic payments totaling $67,505.14, 19 warrants for $27,964.25, totaling $95,469.39. And I'd like to start something maybe a little new. I'd like just the board to make a motion to pay the bills, approve the payment of the bills. Something new.
No problem with that.
I will make a motion that you pay those bills, Dan. How's that?
I will second.
Riley,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
That's it. That's all I got.
right. Okay, old business on the second dwellings, we really have no action tonight. The NOPEC engineering grant, the our energizing grant. Again, you just wanted that on as a reminder, correct, Riley?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, third one, KCE board open position. We had scheduled May 4th for reviews, or interviews. We have one applicant that cannot make it, so I'm going to make a motion to move that interviews to the May 18th meeting.
I'll second.
Riley,
Yes.
TJ,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes. Okay. Well, you took care of most of the new business.
Yeah, let me just interrupt there. There's a typo on the agenda here, just so we don't get mixed up. That was Phillips paving for $1,207,000. That's somehow the estimate's on the agenda. That's not correct. That was the estimate.
1,200,000.
Yeah,
1,200,000. So it's
It was
1,225,000, which was the original
Or estimate.
bid limit, so it's 1,207,000.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other quick questions before we jump into the meat of the matter here? All right. The Crackle Road proposed racetrack, so that's for most of you here to hear about or talk about, which is why we had it set up to have speakers sign up and 3-minute limit so we can get through this. Where that project stands right now is the property owner has not applied for any racetrack. Nothing has been done on that. And I talked to him this week. He explained to me, because we were going to try to get him to come out here and talk to us. He declined. And then he was going to talk to the trustees. I said, why don't you just send the trustees a letter, and then we could read that. And so basically he just called me, and right now he has no plans of going forward with that at this time. And it was never going to be a commercial track, so as it sits right now, we really don't know what he's going to do, and he hasn't done anything yet. So there's no action that we can take as a board because he hasn't done anything. But nonetheless, we have speakers who have signed up and want to speak on the issue and get whatever the information they have out to us and to the residents. So, yeah, we should probably get you wouldn't mind, Riley? It's kind of nice having a young guy on there to do our footwork for us.
I'm not going to run.
Okay, I may regret this, but is there anybody on the list that signed up is not speaking regarding the cycle track? What issue are you on?
Leg hold traps.
What's she on?
Leg hold traps is what she said.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we all did some research on that today. Traps were removed last Friday. We had nuisance beavers in the road ditch on Crackle Road, which is a rare occasion. Usually they're going to be by flowing water like a stream or a culvert pipe. It's a recurring problem in pretty much every rural area, the entirety of Geauga County. State of Ohio greatly discourages live trapping and relocation because they are nuisance animals. Nobody else wants them either, unless except for maybe Canada. Which leaves you with very few options. We hire out a licensed professional trapper that we've been working with for quite some time. I think we got his contact through the county, I'm going to say 10 years ago, maybe more. It's not something we aggressively go after, but if we have damage starting to appear, it's something that we need to address.
Hey, did you want to come up and say, you signed up to speak? Come up to the podium and,
Well, I didn't hear what the question was as far as...
Okay, she said leg hold traps, and we already know what's going on, so I better restate this for everybody. Crackle Road, we had evidence, clear evidence of beavers damming up our roadside ditch on Crackle Road.
Along Crackle between... and
between-
Snyder?
Between, no, not Snyder, you're in Bainbridge there. This is Harner Road, yeah, Harner, Crackle. Port Jack County actually calls it something different, so that's long been a source of contention. This is between Auburn and one. This was between Auburn and one.
On Crackle?
Yes.
okay, well,
Oh, okay, so,
we're giving you the answer to the question you haven't asked yet, so.
right, well,
go ahead.
it was, I had something else.
I'm sorry, can you state your name? and
Suzanne Alemano.
How do you spell your last name?
Alemagno. I had something else to present, but then at 5 o'clock I found out that you had trapped the beavers and already killed them, so it's kind of a different presentation for me. But I guess it's just the fact that you still use those traps, because it's such an inhumane way to trap an animal. The suffering and the way the trap is used, I guess, is what is my issue. And I did start a petition, and I did get 230 signatures so far. So it's just not me. There are quite a few people in Auburn that are against it. I realize it's still legal to use them. We were just hoping that there would be another method to use to try to deter them. I don't know if culvert fencing was an option.
I can tell you, and I think probably anybody that works on something where you have to remove water from one site and take it to another, that fencing and drainage ditches is not a good idea.
In Beartown, you did it in Beartown.
That was the county.
Okay.
That was the county.
The placement of them, where they were, I know some of the residents said they were close to the road where they were walking their dogs and actually walking.
Which is why the signs went up. That's why. The person we hired to do that realized this is not the normal area where these things do their business. Usually it's in a stream and maybe a little bit remote from the road, but they were built right in the road right away.
Right. And so if it happens again, you would still use the lead hold traps?
I think we'll look into something else. As I said, we're doing a little research on it. Nobody wants these things. So if they're going to be caught, they're probably going to be terminated because nobody wants them to move.
And I know that's because they can't be relocated. I know that they were going to be killed, but sitting in a trap, being suffering and agonizing, and then waiting to be tossed into a truck and killed, or however he did it, is just inhumane. I mean, at least if you used a box trap, and I know it takes a long time to catch them that way, at least they're in the box trap waiting, and if it takes a shot to kill them, however it's done, it's a lot less inhumane, I guess is my point.
Well, I think, as Pete said, we're looking into it, and then, PJ is the liaison for the road department, and it's his job and their job to keep it clear. I almost feel like an outsider from this, because this is just something, hey, we got this issue, we hired these people, I never really looked into the specifics of it myself. So looking at it, it's like, okay, well, and now, and I think we're all in agreement with it, we will look at it and see if, if it's feasible. Because, I mean, we don't necessarily want to torture beavers. We're not happy with their clogging our, ditches, but
We appreciate that. I would like you to leave, I'd like to leave the petition and some of the.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same topic?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all of my fellow Geauga County neighbors. I am also speaking on behalf of beavers. And,
I'm sorry, could you state your name?
oh yes, I'm sorry, Lydia, Lydia-O-B-O-H-F, from Burton Township. My concern is that, as you've stated and recognized, lead hole traps are very painful and inflict suffering on a creature that may be viewed as a nuisance. But I took the opportunity of calling several many organizations. One of them is the Nature Conservancy. One of them is the Ohio Natural Preservation of Wetlands Organization. And there are feasible, extremely low-cost ways of preventing beavers from excavating culverts and creating the damage that this community has had to face. I think we have a choice as people where we either recognize the suffering we cause to other creatures and try to do better, or we sort of disregard that and view them as nuisance so they get what they get because they're inconveniencing us. I think this is an important topic for all people in Geauga County. When I spoke to the Director of Conservation of the Nature Conservancy, they said, yes, it is possible to relocate beavers. My husband and I have almost 20 acres in Burton Township with water that we would be happy under the direction of an expert to provide as habitat. We know other people in Burton Township also with expanses of water on their property that would be happy to provide a habitat for these creatures. I am just asking all of those residents of Auburn and the gentlemen of this board to think with an open heart, to think with compassion, and realize there are those of us who are willing to be part of a more humane solution and who are there to help. This is not an accusatory statement, but I think we can do better as residents of Geauga County, and I thank you for the opportunities to share these thoughts.
Thank you. I'm sure your word will get out that you have a potential home for the
Beaver sanctuary.
I was raised, Mr. Chairman, that if you close your door, that the Lord will never see that you have your own door ever open. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm on the, per petition.
What, yeah? What?
Probably the only Burton, they're on the lady's petition over here. I'm on it, okay, from Hotchkiss Road in Burton, so you can reach out to me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm going to give you, so our rep, I spoke with our rep for ODNR, and I'll give you his phone number. His name's Matt Matskar, so he's Geauga's ODNR ranger, like dedicated to Geauga.
Wonderful.
So he gets a lot of this. I called him because I knew he'd probably heard of this. And I wasn't around last year or years ago when this started. This is all news to me in the last week. But he had a lot of good recommendations. You want to talk to him because he did reiterate they cannot be moved in the state of Ohio.
It might be an Ohio law, sir.
Yeah,
But
you can talk to him.
Right, I'm talking at a higher level environmentally, and maybe that's something we can work on. A
Right.
better way to address this, when there are members in our county who are willing to act compassionately, so maybe we could be part of the solution as opposed to perpetuating a situation of eradication and pain. There's always a better way. There's always a kinder way.
Yeah, he did recommend a different style trap that's not as you said, barbaric.
Yes, sir.
As the leg hold, and he said it's pretty common. They have a list that he'll supply us if we want, where they use a different style trap. Equal success, instant euthanized. I didn't want to use the word euthanization.
It's the end result.
Right, but it's not.
It's
So he has some recommendations that he could pass along to you, and yes, I was going to bring it to you.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I will definitely reach out to that, and I appreciate this. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Take that as a project to find out a euphemism for euthanization.
Yeah, it's not something where anybody enjoys
Well,
doing it.
I guess the other thing going with that, with the beavers and that, it's raccoons. If you trap a raccoon, you have to disperse it because,
Potential for
you know,
disease.
so
that's-
it's state law,
Yeah,
and
that's the
you
state
have to go by state law. You can't, as a township, I don't think we can override a state law.
Well, you can, but you go to jail for it.
I'm not going to jail for it. You're going to be the one overriding it.
Well, when it comes to beavers, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Well, that'll be a headline going in the paper tomorrow.
Excuse me, sorry, can I just get my comment in before people don't come up here and want to say something? Ilana Pogorelic.
I'm sorry.
Ilana Pogorelic.
How do you spell that?
Pogorelec. Okay, so I guess I'm definitely not in favor of label traps in general because also other animals can be trapped in there. You know, I'm just not in favor of the traps, I guess, in general, because it's going to catch other things that you're not intending to catch, and I don't think it's right that animals suffer. I guess my question is, like, how it got to this point where these traps were put out, maybe without people knowing, and maybe something like this in the future could be put to a vote or discussed in a town hall setting, something like this before it gets put out, so maybe something different can be decided before it's everybody's up, not after the fact.
As far as put to a vote, I can't say that that's something that's going to happen. I'm not even sure there's a legal way to do that. You know, as we're talking about this particular section of road, we have an application in process right now for a $600,000 resurfacing project. To do something like that, you need working ditches, or else you're just going to throw that $600,000 away. So that's something this board can't responsibly do. Ditches are there for a reason. I guess another way to look at it is these things were pretty rare, maybe even close to extinct in Ohio, and now they're far from it. So something's working with wildlife management because these things are coming back. I like beavers as long as they're over there, but I don't want them they can't be in the niche.
Right, you know, I just mean like maybe put a vote, like the type of traps that are used or something, or let people know in advance that they're going to be utilized in a certain way.
Yeah, we'll be looking into that now.
Yeah.
Right?
So that-
Again, it's another thing, you guys do get to vote on stuff, unfortunately, it's voting on us. So, then once we stand up here, we're the ones that have to make the decision, so.
Right, and was this put out in a meeting or something, that this was gonna happen though beforehand? I guess that's what I'm trying to say, know in advance.
You know, I know you're sympathizing with the beaver's life, and I understand that, but
Well, just
it's
animals in
maintenance. It's maintenance of the roads is what
I understand.
is the leading concern of,
Yeah, I
here.
just think there should be notice, that's all, and that's like, something like that's gonna be done. Maybe we could put that to vote on things like that in advance, or know about them in advance, so we're not finding out afterwards.
There's only certain things that they let us put on the ballot.
Yeah.
We're not a village where you can kind of create issues like that. We're a township, we're limited to funding of general fund and the departments that voters have approved. specifically maintenance of a ditch by removing animals, I don't think there's any valid language it's ever.
I mean method of removal, not necessarily obviously a ditch needs to be maintained, but maybe like method of removal could be put out there so people know ahead of time, so people are aware, and then they can come and vote on something.
Well, our
That's
road
what I mean.
superintendent comes to meetings, and I'm sure he mentioned the fact that we have an active beaver population working on Grapple Road before we hired.
Okay, so then that's the right question.
If I may, I'll answer your question directly, ma'am.
Yep. Where are you?
Oh, here, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I thought you were still like you're.
No, yeah, it was, okay, wait. So, we could probably be in agreement to not use a lake hole trap per the recommendations from our ranger in Geauga County. The other trap style, like he mentions, this trapper we hire may just not own them, may not like using them. There's many reasons he mentioned to me on the phone.
Right.
But he also has a giant list of people who can use alternative methods that won't hold the animal or risk having a dog or a cat or some person step on it. So to be direct, I don't see, maybe we could be in agreement just to not use lake hole traps, period, until we could talk to ODNR again, get the style, which is, it's called an underwater trap, so it runs the risk of other animals not going into it. And then it's more instantaneous if it's for euthanizing, or there's live catch traps, and then, as you said, they can.
And keep in mind, you know, this issue was brought to our attention, what, Friday afternoon? And it is now Monday afternoon, so there hasn't been a lot of time to do full research on, you know, what's available and everything else.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. There was
So, I mean,
nobody
yes,
talking
I mean,
about
we're
it.
aware of it now, and
Yeah.
and we'll certainly look into it and see what we can do. Like I
Yeah.
said, you know, we don't do it to be mean, and if there's a way to do it that's practical, then we'll certainly evaluate
Yeah.
that.
So we're in agreement. Do we want to be in agreement not to? We'll just advise, make a phone call to our current trapper that we don't want to proceed with using a lake hole device.
Let's see what kind of options he has, and sure, I'd say we can talk to him and
Does
see
that help?
where he's at.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I can give you the ODNR
Yeah,
ranger's name as well, and he can explain all the options.
okay.
There are options out there, so we're done with that then.
Yeah, I just wish people would talk about it beforehand, that's all I'm saying, you know, instead
Okay.
of finding out after it, that's all.
Hate-
Yeah, thank you.
I hate to get the hook out, but that's time.
Yep,
Plus
that's fine.
then some. You're welcome. Okay. Is there any more on the beaver issue?
I just had a quick question. Why can't you just send somebody down in a pickup truck to clear out the dams
Because they
occasionally?
rebuild them overnight.
That's the key issue. Is we send our guys down, they knock the dam down, and in 3 days, it's back. Beavers are very industrious. We're busy as a beaver comes from, because they can do it like right now. Yes, sir.
Those lake hole traps, were they placed on the above the water level or were they in the water?
I believe they were in the water.
Did he have a drowning cable set up?
That I don't know.
Most guys didn't know this, if you're using a lake hole beaver, you get caught in the trap and the first reaction it does is go to feet water.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Come back up.
We hire that out for that reason. I don't know. They were causing visible problems, and that's
It
what we
puts
did.
things out of sight, if he said,
Yeah, I can say that, I can tell you one thing that I do know is that they were in the actual ditch, so they were in proximity to the road, which is unusual that they're that close to a road. Usually they're a little more timid than that, than to be so bold as to build in the actual ditch. And that's why the guy felt compelled to put a sign up, because they were right there at the edge of the road.
that can be done, how that seems to speak to this.
Well, we're going to look into this, and then we've got some other issues to address tonight, I think, Mike, so
Yep.
thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. So we're going to go on to the people on the list here, and Mark Collins, you were number 1 on the list. Yeah, okay. State your name so I can check you off the list.
Sure, Ted Moroz.
Okay.
Okay, there's been some updates. Thank you very much for sharing that. And thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Ted Moroz. I'm here as a resident of Auburn Township. And I'm here to voice my concerns and give an update since the last meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago at the Township about the track that was proposed to be built. What I'm going to do is review the issue a little bit. I'm going to pivot around some of the things, given the new information. I don't want to waste people's time. But to start with, a review of the issue. A letter of intent was sent to my house and many other houses about a motorcycle track that was going to be built on the corner of Crackle and Munn. It gave a description of what he was trying to accomplish. We'll talk about that in a minute. And says if you did not approve of this contract, you contact your trustees and zoning department. Well, after seeing this and not knowing much about it, my immediate question was, should I be concerned? And so immediately I started diving in, started researching what a motorcycle track was and everything about it I could find. And what I found was this. It could be a potential impact to my property or local residents in the form of property devaluation. The research I found indicated that your property values could drop from 10 to 30% depending on your proximity to the actual track. And that radius, they said, could be 1 to 2 miles. It can present hardships to the residents, on their quiet residential lifestyle. There's the excessive noise, dust and dirt pollution, and with the devaluation of property values, that devaluates the tax base, which could also then have a cascading effect to hit tax revenues for the township and tax revenues for the schools. It could also erode the base because nobody may want to build houses or put up any more, residential dwellings near this. So with that said, the other ones were it could be a drain on law enforcement, noise ordinance compliance, and also environmental concerns, air and water. Now these are all things that I've researched, okay? And what I was hoping is that some more clarification of what would be the remediation efforts so these things didn't happen. So what is known to date is that, the land is on Crackle and Munn's 27 acres zoned residential. The LOI, the letter of intent that was sent out, states that the owner, I'm building a motocross track or trail, and that those words are being interchanged. Riding activities would include usually about 5 motorcycles, no more than 10. He would be putting a sprinkler system in. He would be putting in things to have a special event. And he assured compliance with township ordinance and zoning codes. That was a statement. But after I read this and read everything else, what could happen, this was a very scary letter. And what this letter did not tell me anything was that how he's going to plan to protect the property values and the negative effects of motocross bikes racing near my house or operating near my house. So, and also the effects of, this is a purpose-built trail, so there's going to be a lot of money going into it and all that. So, my interpretation of this letter of intent was that there's a person making a significant investment to design, build, modify the land for the purpose of an organized...
Okay. He said we're limiting time tonight, so you're...
I'll yield my time. I'm on the list, so I'll yield my time.
Your name?
Nate Molnar.
Okay, you have 3 more minutes, go.
Okay, go. So it's being built for the purpose of an organized motorcycle club. All right, there's a lot of things that have transpired between for the last couple of weeks and also since November 25. I'm going to state a couple of things here. In November 25, Mr. Kitco, the zoning inspector, issued a letter stating that if he builds a barn dominium, he has to have full-time occupancy. Number 2, there is a need, a requirement that he has to have a permit for any land disturbing event. And number 3, that he should be aware that noise from one motorcycle was enough to violate the local ordinance, noise ordinance. Another point that was brought to my attention that this particular owner tried to do this in the city of Aurora. There were 75 acres that he purchased. He went before the board, talked about having 10 to 40 people for gatherings and storing motorcycles and whatnot, and it was immediately voted down. He sold the land, came to Auburn Township. So moving on here, to stay under my 3 minutes. I'm going to really fast forward to the present. Right now, I'm acting only on the information available to date. I have nothing else to form an opinion other than a sequence or a series of red flags. You know, a failed attempt in another city, everything has started with a letter of intent, no permit filed for the trail, a structure being built, land usage that goes well beyond the definition of personal use, social media that's confirming that this is a motorcycle club, and really no information on how this thing is being designed, what the frequency you use, the noise barriers, what's the dust, what kind of mitigation, what kind of barriers are they going to put up, are they going to put berms up? There was just absolutely no details. Now, and I don't know what to expect, that makes me worried because it could cost me. So I'm going to skip forward here to a conclusionary statement is that I believe this person really had good intent. He has a vision to create something for his sport, and he had really a good-natured intent to try to keep in transparency, speak and reach out to the neighborhood and say, I'm trying to do this. But where it failed, he didn't say how. And so that's why I'm scared. If he would come, and that's why I asked for him to be at this meeting. It was my request at the last meeting, and he did, and he did not. So this may just be a communication problem. Issuing a letter of intent as a good neighbor, but not providing the details of how he would shield the local residents from the negative effects of a motocross trail or bike was a miss. It was a big miss. But I think maybe it can be corrected. And I would suggest that the owner continue his efforts to be a good neighbor and encourage him, per Mr. Kitco's letter that was sent earlier or late last year, send your plans to the township. Let them review it. They are the experts on compliance. And basically, if there is a way to make this work, I'm sure they can do it. And if they can't do it, then probably it's good to know that now, before this thing gets any further down the road, we try to unwind it. Any questions? And also for the record, there was a petition that was formed. I did not put this together, but I did download it. I downloaded it, and it has about 320 signatures, and I'll leave this with you. Thank you.
Just one thing I want to say, I know most of you here are aware of the property in question, but I did bring a few maps if anybody really needs one to kind of get their bearings on where this is at. There's some more over here.
It already stands out on Google Earth.
It does, well, that's what.
When you look at our house at 13,000 feet, the amount that's already been done is.
Well, I just thought for those, if anybody's here from the other side of town and you need the location specific there, there's maps. Good.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am Mark Polans. I'm here today as a resident of Auburn Township to voice my concerns and objections to the planned construction of a motocross trail and use of motocross bikes. That's use of motocross bikes at 191-22 Munn Road. I'm all in for individual property rights and the individual rights provided by the Auburn Township zoning resolution and Ohio regulations. Most importantly, I believe in and accept the rule of law. It was clearly apparent to me that there were some folks at the last trustee meeting who don't seem to understand how property rights and the rule of law coexist. I heard statements such as, I can do whatever I want on my property. The problem with such a statement is that it's not true, based on either property rights or the rule of law. The current zoning resolutions in Auburn Township are purposefully designed and written to protect the rights of all Auburn property owners, making it very clear that a property owner's rights end when their actions infringe upon the rights of other property owners. This is why Inspector Kitco pointed out to Mr. Eprick in a letter last year that even a single motocross bike could violate the zoning resolution. The Auburn zoning resolution is authorized under the State of Ohio Revised Code and regulates buildings, their locations, and the use of the property. Let me say that again. How a property owner uses their property is regulated. Also key to these rules is that zoning is, quote, to promote and protect the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare, unquote. Note that it states general welfare, not individuals. The resolution identifies general regulations that apply to all zoning districts, including the construction and use of a motocross track or trail and the noise and environmental impacts of using motocross cycles on personal property. By definition in the zoning rules, the word use specifically includes intended use, designed use, and arranged use. Therefore, the rules apply whether a track is built or not. In fact, an argument can be made that Mr. Eprick's publicly stated intended use could be interpreted to require him to file for a use permit now. On that point, I appreciated Zoning Inspector Kitco's clarification at the last meeting that in his assessment, Mr. Eprick did not place the large pile of dirt on the property for the purpose of starting to build a motocross track. That was good news to me that the zoning rules have not been violated. The immediate neighbors and nearby residents have objected to the future construction of a motocross track by their phone calls, letters, in-person objections, and a petition with over 320 signatures. Their primary concerns center around noise and air pollution, which can result in a loss of enjoyment of their property and a loss of their property value. The general noise requirement is defined in the rules as any sound which annoys or disturbs humans, which causes or tends to cause an adverse psychological or physiological effect on humans, unquote. The general noise requirement states, quote, no use shall emit noise which is objectionable due to volume, frequency, or beat beyond its lot lines. The neighbors and others are very concerned that loud motocross cycles will easily violate this very strict standard. During the last trustee meeting, some folks used the noise from leaf blowers, mowers, and chainsaws.
Excuse me, Mark,
as examples.
you're at time. Who wants to donate their time to Mark?
Marty does, the guy who was on the agenda.
Ian Cousins.
You got it. You go.
Thank you. During the last trustee meeting, some folks used, plus I wasn't told it was 3 minutes when I signed up, just so you know. One trustee commented on noise from his nighttime harvesting. The key word in the rules is objectionable. People who live in Auburn expect their neighbors to use leaf blowers, lawnmowers, and chainsaws because almost everyone in Auburn uses such noisy equipment periodically. In addition, folks moved here knowing that farming occurs in Auburn. In addition, the rules offer special protections for farming. So for all the residential zoned areas of Auburn, any objectionable noise is clearly prohibited. No noise measurements are required. The noise only needs to be objectionable based on very strict language in the zoning rules. Though not applicable, well, I'm going to skip something here. Only conditional uses defined in the rules can be approved for use in any zoned area. As has been stated by Inspector Kitco and restated by at least one trustee at the last meeting, only uses specifically listed in the zoning resolution are allowed. Uses not listed are not allowed. Motocross track or trail is not a listed use in Auburn. Such a use requires either an amendment to the zoning resolution or the granting of a zoning variance by the zoning board of appeals. In addition, the granting of a zoning appeal is only allowed to correct a hardship for the property owner, in this case, which is a limited liability corporation. In light of NKE Limited Liability Corporation and Mr. Eprick's property use plan being rejected for a zoning variance in Aurora, Ohio, I am left wondering why NKE LLC appears to have not investigated the zoning rules in Auburn Township before purchasing the R1 zone parcel on Munn Road. It is notable that the resolution gives the zoning inspector the right to take action if he or she simply believes a violation of the zoning rules has occurred. I believe it is the obligation of the Auburn Township Trustees to unconditionally support the rule of law in the resolution and support the zoning inspector regardless of any personal opinions. In closing, the wording of the zoning rules clearly demonstrate that Inspector Kitco is correct in advising the landowner in writing that even one motocross cycle can exceed zoning rules. Property owners are not allowed to infringe upon their neighbor's rights in that, quote, again, no use shall emit noise which is objectionable. Simply put, if neighbors find the noise or dust objectionable, the property owner cannot operate motocross cycles, not even one. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Chris Lynch. Is that a no?
Forms were mixed up back there, so you may have to keep signing on the sheet.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my husband. He probably just signed the wrong sheet, but I wanted to say something about it anyway, and I had to redo it at work. So, Ilana Poprelic again. So we're about like 5 to 6 miles away from where this proposed property usage would occur. And I was looking at some things online, and it looks like, I mean, I'm glad that it doesn't look like there's any way that this will get approved. Because it looks like multiple dirt bikes and motocross bikes, the sound could actually travel up to like 6 miles. Multiple and used at a time. And then some of them for racing and stuff, they use like aftermarket parts they put on there, and it exacerbates the sound. It makes it even louder. So I think that people that would go and possibly affect like a 6 mile radius is quite excessive for the use of one property. And I mean, would this property have to be rezoned for it to get approved? Is that a possibility? Or is it just going to be denied because if it doesn't fit the R1? I mean, is it asking for approval?
We have no idea. There's been no proposal made to the township.
So there's something given to us, so we can't do anything with it.
Okay, so...
Okay, he had a letter which he said what he was going to do. The last report I got is he's not going to do it, or if he does, it'll be snapped down. So we can't do anything until he does something.
Okay, so would it go to Frank Kitco first and then come to you guys afterwards for a vote? Is that how that would work? Would he
Yes,
approve it?
he will go to Frank Kitco first. He will go to zoning. That's where he would have to go and to put whatever plans he had, to give in motion, to fill out all the paperwork, to find out what he's doing. And at that point in time, Frank would do his evaluations. And again, even if it would either be, whatever he's doing will be either within the code and he would be approved, or it wouldn't be and it would be denied. So there's a whole process that would have to go through before it even gets to us.
Right, okay. So under the R1, it doesn't look like it would get approved. Is there any way they would be able to apply for a zoning change, like to something else?
Well, yeah, he could apply for a zoning change and pay for a lot of money to do it, and it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get it.
Right, okay.
Applying for it is one thing, getting it is a whole other.
I'm just wondering, because like I said, we're in like 4 or 5 mile radius. I sleep during the day because I work at night, and just hearing 1 or 2 dirt bikes going by, like wakes me up already. So I'm a little concerned about the noise on that. So, all right, well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. The name I can't read. Was the one underneath Chris Lynch? I'm trying to go in order here. Who can read lousy writing? It's as bad as mine. I can't even read now. Middle initial is A.
Yeah, middle initial is A. The next one looks like Vegetella.
Okay, well, if you don't want to speak, you don't have to if you signed up. Dale? Dale, was it listed on line to speak. Is there a Dale? M. Beck. Hey, there you go.
Hi there, I'm Monica. I live on Munn, 0.7 miles from this property. And I feel kind of obnoxious coming up here and even saying anything because evidently there's nothing in place and the big mysterious property owner doesn't want to be here. And I absolutely understand and respect that privacy, but then when my neighbors get letters, which I did not receive, nonetheless, I have a little concern raised about the potential use of the land down the street from me that is a residential property. My husband and I are motorcycle riders. We have several bikes, we have dirt bikes, we have property that I did not know. Now I know my sons were not allowed to ride their dirt bikes on our property. Of course, that was 15 years ago, but I know now. So I understand the frustration about the noise. You know, when my kids would ride their dirt bikes in the backyard, they're out there for an hour and that was it. I have no idea, and again, everything's in speculation, so I guess I'm up here now. I want to say something because I just want to, on the record, even though this really isn't on the record, that I have objections to this potential dirt bike club, whatever we're going to call it. Nobody knows what we're going to call it. It's all speculation. I just don't want 5 to 10 bikes riding on property that's half a mile down the street from me with potential of a lot of noise, with potential of dust, because, yes, I understand there's the potential of adding, sprinklers or whatever to keep the dust down. The noise is a factor. The dust may be a factor. We've got, a lot of people have already mentioned many things regarding the noise, and I understand about bikes. Trust me, I know there's some dirt bikes that aren't that loud, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. But the potential is 5 to 10 bikes. Is it really going to be 5 to 10 bikes if it's going to be a club? I don't know about that. But sustained noise that's vibrating like that can affect wildlife around the area. There's several people, my neighbor who has tons of beehives, that sustained vibration and noise can affect my neighbor's beehives. I have concern about that. So, I mean, I could go on. I know I'm jumping all over the map here. I just wanted to know that that's half a mile down the street from me, and I'm against it. Thanks.
Okay. Jay Beck? Good. Cindy?
Hi, everybody. I'm Cindy Toth. This is my husband, Tim. We have been residents of Auburn Township for 30 years. We bought 20 acres across the street from this property at Crackle and Munn. We built a beautiful home, and we have been enjoying ourselves for the last, we bought 30 years, right? 30 years ago, okay? I am also a licensed realtor. I've been licensed since 1991, and I will tell you that if this is permitted, it will definitely negatively affect all of our property values. I don't care how close you are, Auburn Township, if they do permit this to be changed or whatever could potentially happen in a residential area, people are going to be like, if that happened to them, what's going to happen to me, okay? And I want to say that, Nate Eprick, he put this in my mailbox telling me that he was going to potentially be doing this. He bought the property. And what it says here is there will be no more than 10 bikes on the track at any given time. On average, I would expect 5. On any given time. So what does that mean? Does that mean that he's got this Skidland barn group, barnuminium group? He's got, last year there was 82 members. Does that mean that he's going to have 10 and they're all going to ride for an hour? And then the next hour you're going to get 10 more and 10 more and 10 more? And there's properties that butt right there. I cannot imagine the stress and the strain that it is putting on these people who, that's like me coming to your house, you're sitting in your family room, you're watching the Guardians game, and I'd like to play the snare drum, and I'm going to come and stand next to you, and I'm just going to beat away for 8 hours. That's what it's going to be like. Forget about all the environmental stuff. What if people have asthma? You know, what if people want to have a party? They have to go next door to their neighbor and say, hey, I want to use my land. I want to have a birthday party for my kid. Can you please not ride your bikes? So if this is permitted, this is going to be totally detrimental. We totally oppose it. We like to live our lives in peace, and we all have a right to do that. So.
I want to say thanks for addressing this. Nate's the one who started this with the, with the letter, so that's why we're talking about this. But if this ever comes up for a vote, I would like the board to put yourself in our position right across the street from them. So that's what I have.
Yeah, I'd imagine if there's ever a proposal, word will get out pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm guessing we'll know about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, were you the one that relinquished your time?
Yes.
We're getting there. Okay. John Nessie?
John Macy, NESI. I'm going to make 4 quick points. I live nearby. Mark is my neighbor. He and I have been kind of looking at this issue for some time. Mr. Eprick has been in front of the Aurora Board of Zoning Appeals to discuss his need to convert 75 acres into a raised tract. He was denied. And at that time, his testimony on record says that he would have up to 40 people riding bikes on that track on any given day. Contrary to what the letter said that he passed out to everybody's mailbox, indicating it's for personal use and it's a trail. However, within that same letter, within the same paragraph, he contradicts himself from being a personal trail to 10 bikes on a track. His social media posts indicate that this is the Skidland Barn Dominium for the Skidland Enthusiast Club. This is a clubhouse portraying itself as a residence. Whether he plans to live there or not, I don't know. I'm amazed that this got approved as a residence in the first place. It's a barn housing a lot of bikes. I know this family for a lot of years. They're all bike enthusiasts. Every kind of bike you can imagine. They will be in his barn. They will be on that property. It will be relentless noise. It will be disturbing to the existing community of peaceful residents, basically being invaded by motorcycle interlopers that never lived there before. Further, aside from the deceptivity and the minimalization that he created in the letter that was sent to the residents, I don't believe for a minute that you can minimize the impact that these bikes are going to have on your lifestyle and your property value. And finally, I'll say, according to the county model zoning resolution, which Auburn follows almost to a T, personal use is considered as private and excludes any commercial or membership activity. He is running a club here. His intent is to run a motorcycle club in our neighborhood. And I'll just leave it at that.
Mark Colans? Okay, you've already been in there. You were on twice. Ruth Kavanaugh.
I signed the wrong page.
Oh, come on, I've never known you to be short of anything to say.
I'm speechless tonight.
Speaking of which, Deb Stadley.
I was just going to ask that you make sure the traps are removed for roadside cleanup day for Saturday, so that we can explore that ditch and get the trash out of it.
They're gone.
So
They're
you've
gone.
already addressed that, so that was my concern. Thank you.
Okay. Greg? Or was you part of yours? You're on the same
She
line.
said it all as always, she speaks for me.
Whatever she said?
Yes, dear.
Okay. Good man. Okay. Last one we have is Joe Doherty. Okay, is there anybody that I missed that was on the list? You won't admit to it now. All right. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
We got anything from the fire department's public meetings?
Yeah, we addressed that,
We did address it, and it was supposed to be revised by their attorney. Are they open to the public or not?
But you have, has this gone down to your attorney yet, Keith?
Our meeting's tomorrow night, and that meeting, we were planning on developing a list of questions or topics we want to converse with them about. In the meantime, at our last board meeting, a month ago, we adopted an additional policy, so if somebody wants to come and sit in, come on and sit in. Right now.
But you didn't say that this last meeting when I asked about it. Did you?
We were talking
Well, yeah,
about last week.
you asked
if
we had gotten a response from the
And
prosecutor.
it was turned over to Keith, and Keith said, well, okay, we have to contact the attorney. But he didn't say anything about the last meeting of where the public can come.
No, she said that we sent it to Keith. Keith has the information. You did receive that, correct? We were supposed to send that to you? So it's given to them now. It's in their ballpark that they have to contact their attorney for an opinion. How long that takes is...
In an effort to be clear, while this gets all sorted out, we are going to accept the public to come in and sit in on the meeting.
That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
I'm sorry?
That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Got to move fast, I'm going to make a motion to... Well, let me go through the agenda here for upcoming events. This Saturday, we have the roadside cleanup litter event. It'll be 8 o'clock at our service garage. Anybody who wants to go out and pick up garbage in various roads or ditches are welcome.
We have a dumpster, bring it on up to the township. Cleaning up your roadside ditch, bring it on up. We'll get rid of it.
And we'll have hot dogs and snacks probably starting about 11 o'clock, if anyone's interested. Okay, 5:05, vote, Adam Hall, right here. 5:25, we'll have our memorial event. 8:45 at Maple Shade, 9 a.m. at Adam Hall, 10 a.m. at Shadyside. 6:4 and 6:5 is senior trash large item trash event. Must pre-register. 440-279-2130. If you're senior and you want to pick up your house, they have a limited amount of slots available, so you might want to contact that quick if you've got anything that needs to be picked up. Then on 6/6, we'll have our large trash item drop-off event right here. 7/3 will be the Auburn Bainbridge fireworks against the high school campus. 7/6 will be the rain date on that. And then 7/4 will be the annual 4th of July parade. That'll be starting, same as always, we'll be doing that at Meadows and then down to the fire department. Okay. And so starting at 11 o'clock on that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Can you guys talk about the second dwellings? I could see it on here, but I didn't hear
Come
you.
up here, I'm half deaf. Like a
Can
cheap
you guys
hearing
talk about
aids.
the second dwellings on here? It says old business.
That's old business, we're not addressing that tonight, we're just carrying it over.
Putting it off, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Going once, going twice, anyone else? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Riley?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Yes. Lorraine? I kind of put mine in